Hello, you all. Hi, this Tis. Good day. Good afternoon, good evening. I hope all are well. Hope all are safe. So, I'm actually now, I'm trying to sit down somewhere and make this video because I've attempted it more than once, but I literally either mess it up through trying to drive and record, as far as recording the streets, and then as far as literally not babbling, I'm like, oh my, are you really just babbling in this video? But trying to keep to the point, it's like I am wanting to reiterate what I'm seeing in the streets, and I'm thinking, so there's a lot of, I don't know if it's just today or if this has been going on, but there's been a lot of people, I assume Palestinians, in the streets of downtown LA. Oh, free Palestine, stop the massacres, disarm, stand down. Pretty much like, okay, no, enough with the war, which is cool, but it's like, from me, from the outside looking in, and then literally trying to whip through downtown LA on a Saturday, and as you know, it doesn't really matter which day it is. I guess there's always traffic, but this is like non-stop traffic. And I don't know if it's because people are literally clogging the streets, or if people are just stopping to be nosy. Whatever it is, it's like, okay, and this isn't okay. This is a traffic day. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking like, this is beyond okay, just a bunch of traffic. I'm thinking like, what is going on? So a lot of people with the free Palestine. I'm thinking like, from the outside looking in, from my eyes, I'm thinking like, well, there's a lot of Palestinians, so I feel like the Palestine is in downtown LA. They free Palestine, but to me, I'm like, what? It looked like a lot of the Palestine is in downtown LA. It's a lot of them, And again, it was kind of too eye opening for me. I'm thinking like, you're in downtown LA, and then you're telling downtown LA or screaming from downtown LA, free Palestine, and you either came from or are already here from Palestine, and it's like, I don't, I doubt it's one of those things. Okay, well, you can't come back, because there's a war in quote unquote Palestine, or there's but I'm thinking like, that's now, and I haven't been to Palestine. I haven't been there. I don't know, like, okay, what are the restrictions when there's active war? But I wouldn't think, from the outside looking in, and this is my opinion, I wouldn't think it'll be hard to go back to Palestine and stop what's going on in Palestine. Whatever's going on here, this war needs to stop. Like, and I'm thinking, from the outside looking in, I feel like that would be more effective yelled from that. It's easier to yell from the window and from whatever's going on, even from the background. Okay, I'm yelling it from the window versus yelling it literally from overseas, and I'm thinking like, dang. And I'm not saying that, it all can't spread as far as, hey, we're all yelling at you, hey, leave them alone. But it's like, by the time it gets to overseas, it should be either be old or I don't know. Maybe I just think too outside of the box. But to me, I just felt like, and then some of them, I don't want to say the whole crowd was aggressive, but some of them gave me, like low-key aggressive, kind of like, oh wow, we're climbing the signal light poles, and we're riding out of the top of the Jeep wagon. They're kind of like those like safari trucks that has like the open ceiling, so to speak. Like there's no roof in this Jeep wagon. It kind of gave me Jeep wagon to where, okay, if I want to, I can just sit back with my feet hanging, dangling out through the back. And that's literally what I seen too. I'm thinking like, oh, and it's like, that kind of gave me kind of aggressive, because thinking like, when people normally, if I'm hanging out of the back of a Jeep wagon, I'm shooting. So, it kind of gave me, I don't know. And I have some of it on footage, but this is just a little bit. This is just going through traffic, maybe 5 to 7 minutes of traffic. Nothing to make a real conclusion, but just that little sample kind of gave me like this, that gave me low key militant, But then again, is that the slap on the hand? Oh, no, you don't talk about that, or you don't shut up, or you're on the wrong team, or you're on the right team. It's one of them things and that's why it's like, I don't want to be involved with it, or I don't want to put my 2 cents in. Not that I had 2 cents put in anyway, but it's like, it's one of them things where like, I get too much, if I'm juggling paperwork, I can't take your fouls too. It's like, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's just like, man, they want you, you can't win for losing. It's like, so why go out there why go into the lion's den if you will make for a great snack in the lion's den? I don't know. I do not know. But yeah. And I felt like there was another update. There probably was, but I definitely wanted to put that out there. I'm like, well, damn, or there, Palestine is in, and again, that must be the connection. Like, okay, well, we're here, and that's what gets, get America involved, the America as you know it, involved, because we're here. It's like there's you're there, we're here, and it's kind of somebody's gonna get the smoke, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And it's never who's really, throwing the rocks at each other. It's kind of like, oh, I'm going to go for your kids, so to speak. I don't know. I do not know. The explanation off of it is best to just stay out the way, And honestly, though, anywhere else, I probably wouldn't have seen it outside of a big major city or a big city, maybe, Now, I'm not saying that they're not you have that, what is the thing called, literally called the Jack in the Box, where you spin it and it pops out. Now, I'm not saying you only have to go to a clown show to get that. Maybe you will find it, behind the fridge or in a country town, Maybe at least once or twice, but it's like one of them things. I'm thinking, why not let's let off the fireworks in a major city? Because that's where there's a major amount of people there. People literally pile up. Now, I've been to a lot of major cities, and people literally pile up in major cities, like, whether it's expensive or not, or whether it's crazy or not, or whatever it is that's going on in this city. It could be loaded with drugs. Or, hey, everybody's on drugs here, but for some reason, everybody's going to go to this major city. And it's so crazy because it's like, I've been to a few major cities, as I mentioned, but I feel like LA is like literally giving me a run for my sanity. Not even a run for the money, because it's like one of the things, like, it's like it's like almost like you're sucked into it, because like it's so beautiful. There's so much here, and there's so much to see, and there's so much opportunity. And it's like, everything is right there, but it's like, is that the right or wrong thing to do? Or is that the good or bad? It's like, wow, everything is like good and it's literally heaven and hell right there at your fingertips. And I'm not exaggerating at all. So if I'm thinking like, wow, this is definitely, and maybe that's what it was. Like, okay, if you can overcome LA, or if you can somehow make even a small imprint on LA, if you can do something, if you can make something of yourself in LA, or make it, whatever it is, if you can keep your sanity in LA, you are doing something, So I feel like, to me, it's a mission, but it's also like, what, do I really have to be in a major city to, to do this accomplishment? Or is it like, or am I, throwing myself into the lion's den, so to speak? I mean, sometimes I guess that would be kind of like, oh, why would you be, or that's dangerous, or you could be basically on somebody's to-do or hit this place. Like, okay, well, you would be quote unquote targeted. But I'm thinking, like, for me though, it'd be like one of them things that that'd be a lot worse for you than me, because it'd be one of them things like, no, this is not gonna go well at all. I don't know. It's like I said, everything is it's totally different. Like, I literally think things different. Like, say, while everyone's panicking, I'm more like, why can't I upload this video? Or am I really been in the dungeon this whole time on YouTube? I don't know. But yeah. As far as that, if I'm thinking like, okay, the whole with the major city thing, it's like you have to know how and know when to get out of the way. And I'm thinking that kind of was like a warm up, because it kind of, okay, the message, okay, we're here. As far as like the quote unquote of the war, I guess. I don't know if would that be the spark, or if that's the only one that we're focusing on is the one that's on the news, I don't know. But yeah, I'm thinking, and I don't know, and do I put my 2 cents in? I guess with your 2 cents, it would just be your own opinion. And like I say, my opinion is not on, I don't have an opinion on the war. Like I say, I don't know anyone who's warring. I don't know the side of town. I don't know that side of the world. I've never been overseas. Not saying that I wouldn't go, to the Middle East, but it's like, I don't know anything about it to be putting my 2 cents on like that. Like, oh, y'all should be doing, and I'm thinking like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So it's like, it's one of the things that, let me shut up, because what could I say anyway if I don't know what's going on? But I'm thinking, if there's something going on there and it's here, it wouldn't take much for that energy to shift, so to speak. So I'm thinking like, okay, if I guess to put it in layman's terms, just make it very short and sweet to make it make sense. Okay, we get into a fight at the club, and it's one of those things where I'm already back at the house or the second meetup spot, I guess wherever. We'll say at the hotel room. You know, we went on vacation. We went to the club and got into a fight, and then we all have this big hotel room. Maybe there's 2-3 of us, but at least 2 of us got into a fight at the club, and it started off at the club, but we're back at the house, so that means, yeah, it's hell to pay now, you know? And they're like, you probably wouldn't fight at the club, and you probably weren't there, but somehow I'm still ready to fight, or I'm still on fire, I'm still mad, and you can be over it, but by the time you get back, oh, it's on, you know? So that's kind of like, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm getting, because I'm thinking, like, again, if they're warring real bad there, and it's like, and like I said, whether they're guilty or innocent, it's kind of like, okay, well, when I see you again, or when I get triggered again, that's another thing, too. Maybe it could be triggering, too. Okay, yeah, I may have left an abusive relationship, so to speak, but when I'm with you, sometimes and you're fine. You haven't done anything, but sometimes, you know, maybe when you go to reach into a cabinet, I'm thinking that you're really lifting your hand to slap me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I flinch. Maybe you didn't think anything about it, but like I say, I'm still traumatized, so to speak. So that means maybe out of my traumatization, I have reactions, or dang, now I have to hit you across the head with a skillet. Oh my gosh, you were trying to, you know, and you were just trying to get something out of the cabinet. But out of trauma, I panic, thinking, like, okay, you know, let me neutralize the situation, and I hit you across the head with a skillet. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, hopefully that example was not terrible, but yeah, in so many words, it's kind of, yeah, like I said, we're fighting at the club, and then whether you have anything to do with it or not, you were there. Like, say, oh, you probably don't want us to fight. Oh, you just want to have a good night, but we're too busy fighting. You see what I'm saying? You're caught in the middle. You see what I'm saying? So, what makes you think you're not gonna get any smoke, so to speak, is what I'm saying. And I'm thinking, like, there's nothing keeping us from getting smoke. They were just in the streets saying we're here in so many words without saying it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, that's why, you know, it's best. And I mentioned the whole major city thing, because like I say, I'm in a major city, but I probably wouldn't have seen that, you know, had I been, you know, in the maybe in the mountains, to say the least, or, you know what I mean, somewhere like, oh, okay, I'm in the countryside of town, or not in the city, you know, and I probably won't see so much craziness. And I'm not saying that you won't see crazy, because most of the time too, that's another thing too, a lot of people, and I don't want to say like, oh, don't, you can't, there's nowhere to run from the major cities, but most of the time when you do see crazy stuff, like the Hills Have Eyes, stuff like that, it is out there in the outskirts. A lot of people are in the mountains and up underground, or under a damn rock, or under a fridge, you know. I would think like, okay, let me just go under a rock. And you think I'm the only person that's under a rock? Do you really think that's a mountaintop? You know, that's probably someone's place of living. You see what I'm saying? Or at least somewhere to hang out on the hill. But, you know, and you'll think like, oh, okay, well, that's just a light post. Yeah, that's my post, all right. You know, so it's like, I don't know. It just, I don't want to say you can't avoid it, but you can definitely minimize it, where it's like, okay, I have this at least 1 or 2 less zombies that I have to deal with later on. You know, because I'm thinking, of course, the major city is going to be no one. You're a major city. I think to start with the damn major cities, and then trickle our ways down, or trickle our way up, but whatever it is, it's, yeah. And then I would say too, the reason why you can't avoid the crazy, because it's like a lot of these city people, they go elsewhere too. Because with me, when I think Vegas, as far as out west, I was in Nevada, Vegas, which was like, oh my God, that's what really gave me the whole, oh my goodness, this is a Western movie. And like, this is everything. It's just like, wow, beautiful, you know, like, and it's pretty much just desert, like beautiful mountainous desert. And like, oh my goodness, it's so big and nice. And I'm thinking like, okay, and then after being there for like 2 years, you know, getting the feel of that, and then, you know, maybe getting a little sample of LA, you know, I'm thinking, well, this is a few years ago, you know, as far as like coming out west. And so I'm in Vegas, and I'm like, oh, well, it's nice, but then, but the people are crazy. And I'm thinking like, okay, well, those are those crazy people from LA, you know. I'm thinking like, I blame the crazy of Vegas on LA, which is crazy. I guess it's crazy, but I'm thinking like, but notice how like, okay, maybe some of those crazy people from LA were in, Nevada or Vegas, So it's like, if I'm saying like, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere where it's just mountains and desert, and there's crazy people in the mountains and desert. I don't know. But yeah, out west it's very beautiful. It is very, very beautiful. I love the weather, like at least all the time sunlight. So I'm thinking like, oh wow, I at least get my sun intake, so that's good. Can't complain about that. Yeah, but yeah, I'm thinking yes. The best bet is just stay out the way, because it's just like you don't really know. I mean, you could think or put your 2 cents in, but it's like you don't really know what's going on. I think you can do like I can focus on self, keep out the way, and make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and keeping myself together, and staying out the way, and staying out the way. Yeah, because that's the only thing, though. You don't want to get caught in the crowd, like I say, or you get caught in the fight at the club because you were there, oh, you came with the party. You came with the party of 12. You had nothing to do with it, but 12 of your passengers, you've gotten into a fight. I'm like, oh, man. You see what I'm saying? You get caught up in it because you were there, You didn't want no smoke. You just wanted to have a good night, As mentioned before, but you were there amongst the fighters. Oh man, but yeah, yeah. And also too, I guess I don't know. I guess this would be just like maybe the start or middle of fall. I think fall has been around at least a month now. September, October. Yeah, so I'm thinking because October, it's literally like basically the end of October, which is crazy because it went by so fast. I'm thinking like, well, now like it's definitely starting to get cold now as it spills into like, November and December. But yeah, I guess, different weather change, obviously getting a little cooler, but that's nice though. Like I said, as long as I get the sunlight, my thing is you can give me some heat from the sunlight. That's good. But yeah, you all just be well and be safe, Yeah, stay out the way. Especially if you're not prepared. That's another reason too to stay out the way. Because I've noticed too lately, and a lot of people will probably be like, "Well, you're one to talk," but I've noticed that a lot of people have been either on the edge or like kind of aggressive themselves, like kind of like, oh, I like either road rage or they come as if they want a piece, but it's like what I'm thinking now. If they really come at you like that, like you're not going to be prepared, either A, for the ass whooping, or B, somebody to pull a gun. I'm thinking like, and I don't want to be like, hey, go get strapped. But I'm thinking like, when you're in certain places, doing certain things or not doing nothing at all, it's like one of them things like you might want to have, at least a weapon. Like I said, I don't want to say go get strapped, but sometimes that sounds easier, but then again, it wouldn't be easier if you don't know what you're doing with it, or I'd say at least have something, some mace at least, There's some good mace too. There's one where it's like literally it's like half pepper spray and half tear gas or something like that. So pretty much like you get like a double burn. It's supposed to burn through the skin, but yeah, I haven't had the pleasure of using it. I don't plan on using it, but it's like you better believe I'm going to be emptying the can of this. My thing is, if I have to use, and let's say, thank God that I didn't have to use any of my weapons, and I shouldn't have to use them, and don't want to use. I won't say I don't plan on it, but I do not want to use any weapons. But if I do have to use a pepper spray, or I will be emptying the can in your eyes, ears, and mouth, and a taser. If I do have to use a taser, I will be blowing a fuse in your ass. And we'll just stop there. That's just to say the least, but I'm thinking like, if I have to, any of my weapons have to, oh no. I won't, the message will be, I won't have to do that again, and B, the other message to you is you won't be doing that again. Because I'm thinking like, oh no. There's no way in the world that I should be getting caught in chaos if I'm out of reach of chaos. It's kind of like one of the things like, I'm going to break into your office just to pour coffee on your desk. It's like, oh, we're not doing that. We are not doing that this year. But yeah. Okay, let me shut up. I'm starting to babble now. But yeah, just stay out the way, like I said, and you'll get people too, come be aggressive, like, oh, I'll do this and that to you, or I'm gonna, or act as if they want a piece, and there's some people that will either call your bluff or they're not gonna play with you like that. And because I've seen some things where like, ooh, like, oh my goodness, did you have to do that? And a lot of people, they don't. A lot of people don't have nothing to lose too, so they're thinking like it'd be nothing for me to do a small crimes, or I guess it'll be considered a small crime because probably won't make the news. Yeah, because it's like so much going on. It's to the point now. It's like, well, hell, if you have drugs, because here too, even in the jails, I guess the way it works as far as the jails here, like certain stuff has to be in and out. Because like hell, it's getting filled to the rim. So it's like one of the things, I can't arrest you for drugs when we got murder. It's like it's something like we got bigger things than who got drugs. And I guess that doesn't make sense still for a major city. Like, okay, you have bigger problems than drugs, but it's like, if you do happen to get caught with something where it's like, okay, you might get arrested for one day, and then okay, well, you go ahead and get out of here because you're taking up space. And then also too, I'm thinking that's the whole, you get pushed out the door because they know there's a lot of disenfranchised people here as far as having shelter. So, and they said that's happened a lot too, here, there, and everywhere. I'll do a crime, so I can have a place to stay, even if it's jail. So. Now, they say that happens too. I've heard of this happening too, even in Illinois. And like I said, not just LA. But that's probably another reason too why you get like, oh, you're probably just doing this to survive. So like, yeah, it's one of them things too where it's like in certain places, in certain cities, you have to come do a lot more than some drugs, to get, I don't know, maybe get some news time, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, let me shut up. I'm like literally, all right, I'm probably babbling now, but yes, be well and be safe. I will hop back on again in case I was missing something, because I felt like I had another update, but it wasn't on the top of my head, so I guess I didn't. But if I do have even more small talk too, I'll probably hop back on. Be like, hey, you hear about the weather? But yeah, but I don't know, just I don't know, keep your eyes and ears open though, because it's kind of like, and read in between the lines too, because it's like, what do you want me to stop doing to start? It's like, literally, if I just reiterate, like, want you to literally just short and sweet, want you to stop what you're doing, want the world to stop what they're doing, to focus on one thing and one group, as if that's all that's going on in the world, even if that is, oh, this is the number one, this is what you should be doing. And I'm thinking like, you don't think there's nothing else going on in the world than what you're doing right now. You see what I'm saying? And with there being nothing new under the sun, as far as, did you really think that's the first and only war? We know that's not. So it's like but the world must focus on that. So I'm thinking that could that be, it's like a maybe not necessarily a distraction, but it's, because it could be eye-opening as well. But I'm thinking it's one of them things where I'm kind of like prioritizing then. We all have problems, but I only want you to focus on my problems. I don't really care what you got going on. You need to stop what you're doing and focus on what I'm doing, or you're going to get fired. You see? I don't know. I'll stop babbling here. Anyway, be well, be safe.